Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for your presence. We are here as part of a session for International Dragon Dreaming Confestival. And we will record this meeting. You feel free, if you don't want to appear your face, you can turn off your camera. And but it will be just spread in the channel of Confestival. Okay. So this is a really challenge subject to talk because the complexity of it and also the number of knowledge and information it's behind. I studied Enneagram, I could say, for 25 years, receiving it from the main source of Enneagram. It is the Sufism, traditional. It is a knowledge from the Sufism tradition. And Gurdjieff spread this to Occident through Sufism. He received it first in Sufism. It's specifically the Naqshband order. And after Gurdjieff, the knowledge become what we have today. It's like just a type of personality, but it's not the origins of the knowledge. It is so, and today, because I talk about connection with the projects, I will not talk about personalities because it's I could say, the last possibility to apply Enneagram is for personalities. First of all, for you to understand that, as John said, how it becomes personality, we need to understand the knowledge behind and the logical of that, for we understand why each point has a specific personality. If I go directly for personality, it's like a hotel, a brand we put in the people, and it's not the purpose of this deep knowledge. And I feel really touched to talk about Enneagram because it is deep knowledge, and it's not to understand Enneagram to understand the knowledge. It's the opposite way. We need to understand the knowledge behind, then we understand Enneagram. I will give you a peel of this for we understand why we can use this perspective for the project. Okay, I go slowly and I talk for some minutes, few minutes, then I open for questions and exchange, and also I think through questions we can...
You're negative.
10 participants.
We can also go deeper into to understand a little bit that, okay? And if you have some question, you can write. I ask just for I talk these few minutes for we take this line of thought, then I open, then we can share, okay? So, first of all, I start as a little bit about the story. I give a little bit here idea for you, because otherwise we can misunderstand a little bit. So I will open here I will share my screen with you. Here. First of all, we are here in the Dragon Dreaming Confestival, and I always think how I can connect and explain Enneagram in this context as a project and collaboration, and to realize and to make a project. I found these specifically points to understand the logical of Dragon Dream of Enneagram, which I share with you. And the other perspective, Enneagram, it's when offered this possibility about understand the personalities, I also prefer to work with Enneagram in different way. Is the way, what is the treasure, the gold each of us have inside, then I understand what's my personality. When I work in therapeutic groups with Enneagram, I go for this logical, not the logic of ego and personality to stay around that, but what is our essence? Because each point has an essence, and then we understand the growth of personality to work about ourselves. In this perspective, of course, it's good for projects too, because if we understand ourselves, of course, it's better for everyone around me and for my project. And coming here in my mind, I know it is today is just a pill because it's impossible to talk 1 hour about everything. But I will offer, if you want, you can write here your email, please. And I can offer another session, maybe out of Confestival, to give you 1 step more and we understand a little bit about the personality. If you want, and we have few people, I can share it with you and we do this part 2. Today we do part 1, then we do part 2 for who is interested. So Enneagram, it's also Gurdjieff give this name, Eptaparapraznog, and I will talk about it for you. But basically, it is Armenian words to say is 7 levels to growth, to develop something in the divine level, to divine. Consider Enneagram, it's a knowledge through Sufis. It is a spiritual knowledge. It's the knowledge for our spirituality, to active the connection with the God, the divine. But although you don't use it specifically for a spiritual pathway, we can understand it for life itself. Because these laws, it's created this symbol, is the laws we can understand life in some level. Here we are. So, as I say, it's coming to West through Gurdjieff, who showed the meaning of the symbol. Gurdjieff never presented Enneagram as to personalities. It comes specifically about through Oscar Chazo. It's a Chilean man. And he taught for others, like Cláudio Naranjo, which is a deep reference for that, Ellen Palmer, and then others come from them. I had, as I say to you, I received these from this source, and I studied with Cláudio Naranjo for 20 years, and with Gurdjieff, I stayed in his school, which I have teachers had a direct connection with Gurdjieff. I received that, I was there 23 years, I could say that. And then the last 10, 12 years, I am specifically in this Naqshbandi order. But what happened when passed through Oscar Chazo and this transmission, this knowledge was fragmented. Because this today, we look at that as this, you can also make a test to discover your personality. It doesn't exist. We use Enneagram as a test. because the through process, it's applied these laws, it's applied the logical for self-discovery and self-understand and understand of the process to apply a knowledge. Is not in the opposite way. And he is the Abdullah Al-Faiz Dagestani. He was the master of this order, Naqshband order, which transmits this symbol. And we also in the order called the Secret of Nine to Gurdjieff. And Gurdjieff is this man, received the knowledge from different traditions, and he created in your pathway a way to transmit this knowledge. And you can see through the Gurdjieff movements. In Gurdjieff movements, we can understand or connected with the knowledge in different levels through the movement. Also, there is a movement, the name is Multiply 7, for example, because it's connected with the logical of Enneagram. So it is a little bit of this story. And he is the laws, the form, create the Enneagram laws. The law of one, you can see. This one, the law of one, the law of three, and the law of seven. I will explain a little bit for you about that. It's interesting to talk a little bit about the symbol. The symbol, it's something that is much invisible knowledge. It's what I say to you. For we really understand the symbol, we need to understand the traditional law line is behind. Then we understand the symbol. As I say, for we understand the personality, we need to understand what is the line of knowledge, guide for this symbol. And it's the point. And then behind this invisible knowledge, there is the symbol which gives to us a good perspective. It makes sense in some level. So I will not enter in these spiritual aspects today. Maybe in our next meeting, if you want, we can talk a little bit about that. But here we have the law of one, law of three, and law of seven. And it is important to understand, to check, and to understand what is the project, what happened in the project based in this law. First of all, the law of one, it's quite obvious. It's everything comes from unity. We can say from divine, from uncreated. We also use this word, or Gurdjieff used the word absolute. Everything comes there. And before the creation, the manifestation, we know the cosmos, the universe, the planets, the earth, us, nothing existed. Existed nothing, because in the same times is everything. It's nothing and everything, which means unity, completely unity. In the same way, the law of one means everything developing itself. I am Lizandra at the moment, and I develop in myself. I doesn't develop in different way, in John way. I develop myself. A project is developing their own process of project. For what? Bring a little bit from the spirituality that Epta Para Prasnok, I started with, is everything. So levels to growth, anything to growth, something in the divine plan. So everything in this world, in our existence, in our manifestation, in our expression, have a reason for that. Then we can connect, yes, every project, every action has a reason for that. It is the law. Aito, can you check the microphone, please? Have someone to open it. Thank you. So everything developed that for one reason. So my personality, how I developed my personality has a reason. And the reason for that is to develop myself from the reduction of the ego, reduction of the personality, to active the essential aspect of each of us, as I say. Everyone has the pearl, the gold inside. And when the reason why we develop the personality, it's for we come back conscious to my essence again through reduction of the ego. When I develop a project, it's there a reason for something. But it's not automatic, mechanic. We need to know the process to develop conscious about that. And also overcome the resistance, overcome the shocks. I will explain about that. So it's the law of one. Everything comes from unity and go back to unity. And everything develop itself for this pathway, for this process to return for unity. The second law is the law of three. It is really, really important. It is the law of creation. It's mean the cosmos, the universe, everything was created from three laws. The moment of the creation, we need three forces: negative or passive, positive or active, and neutral. If you have just negative or passive force, we don't have creation. If we have just the conflict, the positive and negative, active and passive, also there is no creation. You need to have one third force to manifest the creation. But when happen the creation, whatever it is just a seed. It's come as a potential to develop. Then enter the law of seven, which is the law of manifestation, the law of development, the law of octaves also. It's named about that because the musical notes, it's also based in the law of seven. So it is the three laws, it's make the symbol, the complete symbol. This is one. This is Enneagram. And also you can put the musical notes there. And what happened? Let's see. Come here. So what happened? When something is created, a project, your life, whatever, something is created and it is manifested through this creation. Then it started the law of seven. What happened here is, started here a movement, a development, had to me, and there is a point here. This point has a resistance. You need an extra force to overcome this resistance here. When you apply it in the musical notes, we know here it has do, re, ma, mi, and here we need the half tone. We also in the music need an extra energy to go for the next step. And in this point, we can realize the projects can have blockades or some resistance, and it can appear in different way. We also can talk about one specific project, but can appear in different possibilities. Can also be just the motivation, lose energy. And what we need here to overcome and to put more energy there? We need maybe extra force. Good Jeff used the name as a shock. It is. In this moment, for you overcome, you need extra force. And it can be someone external can help and talk about, a teacher. In your personal process, if we apply it in the personal growth, maybe here you need a therapist, you need a master, you need a teacher to guide you. In this moment, you need an extra force to jump and overcome this challenge appear there. Because in this process here, it's quite, can have some blocks, but it's quite easy. It's near automatically. But here, no, we need extra shock. How we can see it as a project? I thought about that. It is my thoughts about what we see. We see in the dreams, when we think here, our intention and ideal possibilities. And we can also talk in terms of dragon dream, and we can say we do a dream circle and everyone is happy. We can overcome everything, just in the idea and the manifestation of our personality there. And then you start to move in the world, confront some challenge, but in one moment, all kind of difficulties appear. Or sometimes it's a real shock. Someone leave the project, the resource finish. But in this moment, it's wonderful because here it's like the awareness, you can wake up your awareness, can be more aware about what's happening. If we want to grow, want to continue the development. And then we overcome. But as I said, we need extra force. And it depends on what's happening, of course. And it also can have, I can show you one example, can be easy to understand, like the law of 7 acting in our life. Sometimes you go for a retreat or training, something like that. You learn a lot, you practice meditation for 5 days in this retreat, and then you go back to home and say, I will continue this practice, I will continue studying, I will go and do all of these ideas, and you go alone, doing the first day okay, the second, 5 days, then your energy starts to down. Then we just stop your practice, your discipline to study, then down. Then what we need in this moment, a teacher, a group you can follow to give this extra force, extra energy to continue going your objective. And what is interesting here is in this point, well, if we have another meeting, I will explain for you what is this 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, and 96. Today will be so much if I can talk about that. And then if we overcome here, but if you rest and don't continue the putting energy in the project, energy in your personal growth, what happened? We jump again for the point 0. It's like a game. You return 5, few steps behind. And it's the movement of law of 7, because it shows for us we need constantly keep the energy there. You constantly need to put the intention to growth, because it is the growth. Otherwise, the seed, the potential of that manifestation will die. If you don't continue study, continue look yourself, continue the discipline, the potential seed will die. The project will die. So it's not, we need to think it's not mechanic. The developing process is not mechanic. It's a really word from Gurdjieff. If you read his books and the Ouspensky books, which was his student more wrote about his work, you find this word or automatic or mechanic, because mechanic happen unconscious. You don't realize it's happening. It's like ourself, our ego. It's just happened. But for the process of development, needs to be aware about. For the project, we need to be aware what's happened. And it is, we can say, the celebration in Dragon Dreaming words, or in the feedback process, it's what constantly gives for us this awareness what's happening. And when I am aware, there is the possibility to grow. And it is the process of growth in any situation, as a project, as myself, whatever. We need to be aware what's happening all the time. And so I will stop here a little bit. Okay, I'm thinking here, I go in this next step. I say to you, I will not say so much about that, but let me give you a perspective of these numbers: 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, and 96. Why is that? When we talk about creation, we are talking, first of all, about the universe, the cosmos. And each creation in the universe, there's a specifically creation's ray. And it is our creation's ray from the human being, where we are in the earth. When we see that, we see the first of all, as I said, was uncreated, absolute, divine, whatever. It's something there, it's just unity. We can say there's just love, but it's not this love we know here in our level, but there's just the light here in this one level of force there, I could say. And then through the law of 3, started the creation. In 3 orders of law, 3 orders started the creation. From this moment, the duality started. It's like it's a chaos, I could say, in the uncreated. It's not the bad word, maybe, for what we can understand as a chaos. As a chaos, it's something without order, something without but it's not in this way. The chaos here is that is not this order we know here in our limited mind. But when created all the words, I could say the cosmos, comes some order there. Started to have some order. And the things start, the order in the universe started to be created. Then in our creation's ray, it's the Milky Way, the sun, the planets, the earth, and the moon. And when you see here, and it's quite, we started to enter in the spiritual perspective. In this point here, we have the evolutionary pole. It's mean what is in this side of the symbol is more close from this absolute. The thing is here, it's the more close, it's closest in the divine level. When we pass here for this other side, it's the involutive pole. It's mean the forces here, consider also the number of forces we have here, it's 24, 48, and 96. It's dense, it's heavy, because this we have a matter here, because this density is involutive pole. And everything we say pass for this side, and he's the when we born, we are here, we pass from 12 force for 24. It's a matter, it's dense. Because this we stay, it is one of the reasons we stay in this need overcome resistance. Because here there is a resistance for we jump for the next side, the evolutionary pole, which the things can be more light. So this point, as I show for you, this point here, have a resistance in this moment, and it will happen, whatever is the development, is the resistance to go closer to the other pole, which the things can grow and flow in our perspectives. So it's quite, I stop here in the moment. And I would like to hear you. Maybe I'm not sure if I was clear enough, but I can hear you, your doubts, and maybe from that or your comments, I can explain something, then the things can become more clear. If someone says something.
So maybe, I was just reminded of the hero's journey when you showed this map. That's kind of the analogy I got here. The hero in the current state of consciousness receives a call, so it can be a sign, and then follows it. And so that's the idea emerging out of the chaos, and then meeting a resistance at some point. So there is an analogy to the hero's journey here. So this is what I observe. I'm struggling to understand the law of 3 and 7, and it wasn't really clear. So I am kind of finding it hard to understand the diagram.
Yeah. Let's start from the hero journey. Claudio Naranjo likes to use this idea of the hero, but he worked on that in the way that In reality, the hero journey is the journey inside yourself. And you can see in the end of the journey of the hero, he dying himself and he become other person, like he development. Developing himself is that is not I am, but part of him died. And you can see in our hero stories, there is this journey. And in reality, the hero journey is the journey of self-development. Then its perspective is true. And Naranjo go for this way. But the knowledge of Sufism, we don't use this analogy. I could not say that we could make this analogy for Enneagram because it's much more the hero journey apply in our human perspective than the, sorry. Desculpa, I'm sorry. Then the perspective of the apply only for the human development. But because the Claudio Naranjo, there is his work, it's for personal growth, it's a therapeutic work in some level spiritual. Yes, he used that, but I could not say it's an analogy for the knowledge of Enneagram. But of course, you can make it your mind for one step. I perfectly understand the challenge to understand the law of 7 and 3. I'll try say here in few words to see can be more easy. I will repeat here a little bit, okay? First of all, the symbol is not just one symbol. Is this symbol, it's developed, that's 3 laws. When you put the circle, the triangle, then the hepta. I don't know to say that in English, but that hepta para prasnog. When you put one over other, become the Enneagram. Then have 9 points. Because isolated, there is not 9 points. But when you put together, one over other, then there is. We cannot understand the law of the Enneagram, the law of 7, separated from law of 3. The Enneagram, but I can understand the law of 3 separated. The law of 3 is the law of creation. Everything you create needs 3 force, everything. Because if I stay just in passive, in active energy, just put energy, you not create something. We need the other force, passive or negative. But to really give some results, manifestate something, express something, we need the 3rd force. And this 3rd force creates the law of 3. You can see a simple example. Like we have the wind and we have the building. At the moment, we have the wind and the build. The wind come here and find the resistance in the build, but nothing is created. In the moment I put that Ayrton, could you help me? A pá do vento? Como que chama? Eu posso chamar isso?
Turbine.
Turbine. It could be turbine. If I put there some turbine, use the wind and in the build, and will create energy for that people live in that building, for example. And the neutral force will be the turbine. The active force will be the wind, and the passive force will be the build. Then create something. But it's not a static force. It can move. In one moment, the active, when it becomes this process, the other will become active and passive. Well, but what happens is for any creation, we need 3 forces. In case of the creation of the universe, we have this evolutionary, divine, and you have the black force, negative force. Some traditions call the shaitan or bad things. We have these two forces to create something. And it is, and also you can see it in your projects. Sometimes you have idea, but when you talk with others, you start the other energy. And when someone enters with more motivation for your project, or you receive some resource, money, new energy, and the project can be created and developed. It's the three. Then it is created. Then enter the law of 7. The law of 7 is once you have our resource for your project, people, energy, motivation, everything, now it needs to be developed. Then started the hero journey, because you'll be the obstacles, the challenge. Then in the first moment, it can flow. But one moment, you have a resistance there. When you have this resistance, it's time to have some external support. Then you can overcome and flow again. And the law of 7 shows us that to develop is not just stay sitting here and waiting the things develop. Need to move in direction of the reason why that was created. And when I apply this, it's interesting to think like in human beings. We are all different, but all of us have a specifically mission, function in the world. It's like each of us grow or born as a seed. But my potential is different of your potential. And when I work about myself, developing myself in this perspectives reduction of the ego, I discover what's my nature, what's the reason why I'm here in this world, and to can really share for the world my real nature, what is essential in myself, from my seeds. Each of us is different seeds, and we need just grow this potential. So, could you clap just a little bit? It's not
one thing I find interesting. Can you go back to the diagram that you had where you showed the numbers 1 to 9 around the circle?
This one?
Yes, that one.
Can be this one?
Yes. Can that be enlarged?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I find interesting with that is if you have the number 1 and you divide it by 7, the answer is 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, back to 1. So you're moving along those lines. Now, if you get 2 divided by 7, the answer then is starting at number 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4, 2. So you're moving along the lines in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Number 3 divided by 7.
No.
It's number 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4. Number 4 divided by 7. The number there is 5, 7, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5.
Yeah.
And so that was when I discovered that was why it showed me why it was called the law of 7.
But it's not just
Because
because
it's always about 7. I know.
I
But
can
it
explain that.
showed me that there was a mathematical
Mhm.
principle behind it. And that
can-
mathematical principle works every time. And I find that fascinating, that there's this mathematical precision that is found, and why it's called 7. Because if you look at the numbers of 6, the numbers of points there, the points, there's only 6 points, but it's called the law of 7. So it's all the different numbers, each whole number divided by 7, each one, until you get up to number 7 divided by 7 is just 1, which is back to the beginning again.
I can talk a little bit
the
about
circle.
that.
Yeah.
What happened, it's also the other name of the law of 7. We say the perpetual movement. And we have some important Sufi master in the history talked about that. No, Al-Ghazali talked a little bit. Bin Arabi also talk about this movement. Also Pythagoras know in the ancient philosophy. What happened, and what it shows, this mathematics John mentioned shows for us, is there is a perpetual movement there. Always we can stay, whatever happened, project, yourself, can stay in this movement. But what moved this movement? It's like invisible? No, it's not. Then enter there what move our manifestation in universe with the one, the unity. There is what moved the manifestation, we call that. And it is the law of 7, John is correct, to show us that movement in Enneagram through these points. So what we see, that is one understanding, what I show you from creation, from 3, 4, 6 force, 12 force, and this internal movement, could call that the internal movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In reality, it will not be 3, it's 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, because 9, 3, and 6, it's other movements. And it shows the perpetual movement and how we can stay moving and moving inside and developing in this direction, in this movement. Is it? There is other vision using the mathematics too. I can show you. Yes, Rafa, you say it's the proton, neutron, and electron. It's also it's the manifestation of the law of 3. I just wonder if we can call it as fractal. I will not use this word in this context of knowledge, because fractal, it's like everything, it's inside everything. In some level is that. I just because what I see in this word as fractal, people can have a misunderstand about that. And from where the knowledge comes, we know everything comes from God. Everything comes from, and in this perspective, it's true that everything goes back to unity, and we have the unity inside us. But we cannot think, well, I'm going a little bit more deep about that, and it also can shock some of you, is because we have the unity inside ourselves. I am the unity too, but it's not me as Lizandra, egocentric, you know? I'm just take care of to use that in the way that I am the same level of the absolute. I am not, but I have here inside me. I'm not sure if I was clear because it's something deeper from the knowledge, but just in this perspective of the fractal, I am the same, the absolute, but I have the absolute inside me. And in this perspective, of course, I am there, but it's not me, Lizandra, egocentrically talking. Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. We call it, when we talk about fractal, we call it about a representation of the cosmos, which cosmos means the all, the law of one. So it moves in the law of 7 to escalate the representation. So, for example, the atom is the representation of the law of 3, and also when unified it and have the atom, you have the law of 1. If you continue escalate, you find the human being. The human being is another part of this scale. So you have the inside of a human being is a representation of the all of the law of 1, the cosmos. We call that in alchemy, and also you have inside the human being the representation of the law of 3 and the representation of the law of 7. But it's quite difficult to explain that in words. So how you could saw these laws representing the human being. I'm also studying all of that, because the human being is a whole, is completed by himself, and also needs the law of 3 to have some kind of progression.
Some kind of what?
Of progression, to progress, to evolve. You need the law of 3 to evolve, okay? So you need to create a point of movement, a synergy that could allow you to movement. And this is when you create a potential difference. You got the positive and you got the negative. And because all the energy move through the positive to the negative, you start the movement. But if you need to progress, when you unify those energies, you have the third energy, the neutral energy. I think I for example, I'm in the bed and I have the dream of my breakfast. So my desire to have that breakfast and the absence of this breakfast manifesting in the material world is the positive, the dream, and my desire and the absence that bring me to move to make that breakfast. And the breakfast should be the neutral. When I mix my desire and the movement to create, I create it. And this is the third, the neutral one. And this is how the human being evolved. And about the law of 7, I have to be honest that I don't have it really clear how it works in the human realm. And also because I'm studying it, so it continue evolves this using the law of 7. It continue evolves, and you have, for example, that another cosmos should be the solar system, and another cosmos complete, a whole, should be for example, our galaxy, the Milky Way, and continues to go on. And if you go to the atom, it continues to go on. And you could divide the atoms in tiny parts, and those tiny parts in other tiny parts, and everything's continue to go on. And we call it the image, the picture, the fractal image or the fractal picture of the whole. We call it a cosmos, because it's a representation. It's not the whole. It's not the divine itself. It's just a representation. I don't know if.
Sorry, what's the representation?
A human being is a representation of the divine, but it's not the divine. This is very, very, very important
for you. Okay. Can I explain from the knowledge and the knowledge behind Enneagram? Because yes, that is the risk. We mix knowledge, and it's not because one is better than other, but it's different pathway to explain things. Okay. Through this knowledge, I will start from this example you have about the breakfast, and it also can be used for us, how to apply it for us and using the law of 7. But first of all, it's important to know it's not really objective in the way we understand here. You know, we need to understand when we touch a sacred knowledge like that, there is so many levels to understand, so many levels. And sometimes we don't have the information to understand some perspective. And here I'm just opening this knowledge, okay? I took this risk to open this knowledge. From your example, it's a good thing with about this breakfast and desire to eat something, and also it can be applied for our personal growth. I want to grow myself. No, I'm here. Yes, I have the wish to grow myself, and how to do that. And I have all potential, all resources available in the world, different traditional schools, masters. I have everything in the world. I'm hungry. I have desire to eat my breakfast. But what is the neutral force here? In both cases, is the will. The will move me to make the food and to create the breakfast. Create the breakfast is the manifestation of these 3 forces. And then create the breakfast through this force. The same in my personal growth. I want to understand myself. I have all possibilities. What's the neutral force to make it happen? To start my pathway. It's my will. It's the neutral force to create the breakfast, to create my pathway, therapeutically, spiritual way, and go there and keep me there. And then we'll enter the law of 7 together. It's not like once happened the law of three, it's stopped. It's not this way. And in this movement, once the force was positive, it's when have this movement of new creation, it can become passive or negative. And then start the other movement. It's everything this happen in the same time. And one force stimulates other force. But what is important here is we value the will. Everything we do. It can make all difference in the creation, whatever you do. In the human being, I could say. And in this knowledge, the cosmos is not the unity. The cosmos is the first manifestation through the unity. The cosmos, it's when there is, before that is just the uncreated, just the absolute. Through the manifestation, and you can also find in, have one book, you find that. The book is the Enneagram Sufi from my teacher. There you can find this, the will of Allah, the will of the uncreated, because it's the Sufi knowledge we call Allah, the uncreated. It's Allah. Allah is the everything. Because Allah wants to manifestate, express himself, then the cosmos was created in three forces. Just to organize. Through that, it has this hierarchy, is true. Through the cosmos has the other level and the other level, and the things is created in this, is not directly from the uncreated, but through this hierarchy. Then it's that. I would like just to make this point from what you say. Yeah, clarify a little bit through the perspective of Enneagram. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise we mix many knowledge, then the thing become really confusing.
Yeah, thank you. It's very complicated to explain. So thanks a lot. I appreciate the effort. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the comments too. So some people arrive later. It's not easy. True. And if there is no other question or comment, thank you, Letty, to come. So you arrived later and we are here just traveling. And Ian, welcome. But it's really deep knowledge, and we need to go step by step. And it's not just one book, have all of this knowledge we need to collect in different books. Also in the ancient philosophy, when you go there to Socrates, to Stoics, there is so much, they talk so much through in the language we can understand the Enneagram too. Yes, Rafa.
I have a question regarding the Enneagram. Is there any possible way to contemplate the evolution of a human being through reincarnation that passes through all the Enneagram types? Is there any order? Is there something like that?
You say reincarnation, we coming back for this life, this world?
Yeah. So you, for example, you are a 3, you die, you make any kind of a step in the law of 7 through your personal evolution, and you reincarnate, for example, as a 9. I'm using numbers without You know, like an example, you know, to make it clear, because I have no idea.
No, I
so.
understand your question. No, first of all, we need to know from the knowledge it comes from. And through this knowledge, there is no reincarnation. We have this life to make this grow. And also, you're born with a seed. You don't need your seed. Like if you're born with this seed of, because each point, I go a step more. I'm glad to meet you again. Well, just you are interested to talk more about that, but we can make this meeting. When we're born with one attribute, virtue, divine virtue, the seed we bring for this world. And each of us has this mission here in this life. I don't change my mission. Then I mechanically develop my personality. And how will be the development? Will be, we reduce this personality, all kinds of ego aspects. We know it's about recognition, power, material interests, is all of that, you know. Recognition, it's just me. It's, we know, I think all of us here know that it's ego. When you reduce it, we go more connected with my real nature, what I bring here. And it's what we have to do in this life. And the knowledge is from that. Then I don't change my number, my mission, my point. I could say if I'm at 1, 2, whatever, I don't change it. But it also is not one better than other. It's not means like I'm 3, if I become 9, I'll be better. It's not one better other. Each one has your own potential and importance to be part of this life. We bring something for this life. It's what I say. Paraplasnok. It's we have the levels, the path to develop in direction, develop the divine plan, in divine level. It is each of us, there is a reason to be here. Then also, sometimes I see in therapy process, when we use the Enneagram for that, it's common way we identify with some points, and it's not easy to discover what personality you are in the Enneagram, because you have so much this identification with some points. And what I work with therapeutic groups, for we study that and understand the theory, understand the knowledge, and apply myself. And it is a journey, maybe hero journey, to die this personality and be born the real hero there, no? What we come to do here. And it's a process too. Also, sometimes people think it's one type, one Enneatype, and when you work about the personality, the ego, it's open and you go closer and closer for your real nature. Is no one it's better than other. How it's wonderful. And what I feel it's wonderful as a project, as a people, as in personal growth, in project, it's everything that is a code. And my experience with this knowledge is how much we know and how much I work about myself, more I can see the build behind the personality. Yes, it's true, Leticia. The ego make us lost the meaning, because we are so attached in just my mind, my needs, me. No, when we open that, we connect with many possibilities when it's not just me in the center. And then also the projects flow better. I answered your question, Rafa?
Thank you. Very, very, very interesting.
Welcome, bem-vindos que chegaram agora. Welcome, but I think I finished now, if there is not other comment or... Olá, Andréia, quanto tempo? Se não tem outro comentário, convido vocês. Bem, vou preparar em novembro. Em novembro, Rafa, I will prepare another meeting. Then I can explain more about I said here, people, that if you are interested, I could give you another class for you understand better the personalities. And do you understand, Andrea? If I speak English? Yeah? And then we can, I said, if you are interested, you can put your email here, and then I can send to you the day. But I think in November, it's also a good time for we think about that, and then I come and show you what happened in terms of personalities. Yeah? Okay. I send to you. Are you planning maybe first week of November? Okay. Okay, Navin, great. Ima. Maculada, could you write your email, please? I'm not sure where I found your email. Leticia and Andrea, I have, okay. Okay, we do it in first week of November. I think also it's a good time now to these ideas be clear. I say, well, think and it down a little bit, then we give other session, the things become clear and clear, because it's really complex knowledge. Cannot go just once. No. Okay. Thank you a lot for your presence. It's the first time I talk, I say in the beginning, it's the first time I talk about this knowledge in English, which is quite challenging, because you can see so many information. And also I put myself here as a viable for that, because for me, it is a really sacred knowledge. And cannot speak it like anything. It's I respect a lot this knowledge, and all of my masters, there is just 3, but there is a 41 line there, which through this knowledge comes. It's not one person created that, it's the knowledge it comes. And we need, and I respect and honor a lot this line of knowledge. Thank you. Yes, Ima. You can, do you want to speak?
Yeah. Hi, Lizandra. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry because I didn't unmute and start the video because there's a lot of noise in the place I'm staying at the moment. I just quite curious about following what you explained and following all the comments and everything. I find the Enneagram quite hopeful in terms of evolution, obviously. And my question would be regarding when we are at that point of resistance for the growth, and we've got the positive pole, which is the evolution. We've got the negative, which is in evolution. And then we identify there that we need the external forces to support that we break the resistance somehow to make the life flow. I don't know if this makes sense, but how do we actually identify what is the right external force or the right external forces to support? So we identify that we need that external forces to break the resistance and to make things work. Regardless, we are talking about the individual, regardless we are talking about the community, regardless we are talking about a personal project, a dream, or whatever it is. So how do we really identify what are the external forces that support that breaking? And I'm also struck by the, that Gurdjieff called this shock or trauma. So I'd be really curious or explore further in next sessions or next meetings this, because I think this is quite helpful and hopeful as well. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to see you.
Thank you, Emma. It's nice to have you here. So let me start from what you say. When you talk negative or positive, active or passive, doesn't mean one is negative, bring me for down, for no evolution, and the positive is to evolution. It's not this perspective. It's just, yes, we have in the creation opposite force, could say that, but both can bring us for evolution and both can bring us for involution. It's just for we understand in terms of need to opposite force and one third force to something be created. Okay, it's the first thing. And when you talk about shock, can be a trauma, but not necessarily it will be a trauma. Okay, shock is like something wake up me, like you are sleeping, someone wake up. It's the shock to make me awake. And the shock can be external, or myself can put myself in a shock. Gurdjieff says something like, let me think in English. As voluntary suffer, awareness effort or conscious effort. It's me. I can put myself, hablo em espanhol, isso es, porque é muito importante isso, sobre choque. Thank you. Voluntary suffering, conscious effort. Thank you, Ayrton. É sofrimento voluntário, esforço consciente. It's me. I put myself in something I know it's not really good, but I'm conscious about that. Like, I am diabetes. Let me give you a really simple example. Diabetes, I cannot eat sugar, but I insist to eat sugar. I have the will to be better. Voluntarily, I will not eat sugar. It creates some suffering, but consciously, I grow and it will have a better health. In personal growth, just we here want to work about ourselves. I speak so much in middle of people because I want recognition. I want everyone give me, be proud of me. And then I talk a lot. And one meeting I have, for example, voluntarily, I will not speak. It is such work with the ego. I will not speak. Consciously, I will make this effort. And it will work about this aspect of my ego. Through the will, because I want that. This voluntary suffer, it is my will to grow some aspect. And then it doesn't mean, okay, it's really important. This force to create something is because it's negative, it's evolutionary, positive is evolutionary. It's a movement. It's a movement. And when we are developing this and have a resistance in some moments of the process or your growth or the growth of your project, well, I cannot say in general. I'm talking here just in general, but each process will be different things, mainly for project. Depend on what is happening in the project. But normally, what we need is an external force. It can be external consultants. It can be a teacher. It can be someone come in your project and helping something, depend of the project. But normally, it's external force. In personal growth, I could say the therapist, the master as a teacher. That is one important thing in this moment of the resistance. It is discipline. Discipline can be a really, really important help to grow. Really important. And it's something personal, individual, it's not the external force, but in some level, discipline is an external force because you need to concentrate to do something. But discipline also can be a force to help you overcome some challenge and some resistance. Okay? Yeah, can I clarify for you, Ima?
Yes, a lot. Yeah, yes, a lot.
Okay. Okay, we left it. Okay, someone? Well, we can finish to go to vote. I will vote now. Brazil today is election. Well, you knew here, Ayrton give the news in Australia and in New Zealand. Lula is president. Well, we'll see. I don't know what will be better to Brazil, but yeah. Let's see what God reserved for us, for our nation. So I make this commitment here. Yeah. I make this commitment here in the first week of November. We met again, and then I can go deeper in terms of this map and the symbol and the apply for personality, apply for our personal growth. Okay. Thank you a lot for your presence. I enjoy a lot sharing it with you, and I hope the masters can also continue working your heart and you receive more from this knowledge and the powerful of this line of knowledge. Thank you. Yeah, I sent to you. I also have in Portuguese presentation, if you prefer. Yeah. If you want to let I also can send to you in Portuguese. Yeah. Thank you. Have a very good Sunday. Tenham domingo lindo. Nave, nice to meet you. We keep in touch. I send the email. And the people from China, Asia, thank you for your presence. And Ben, see you in the Confestival. Tomorrow, I have a session with John. We will talk about dragon dreaming, dimensions of dragon dreaming, and what we are reflecting about to go deeper in the dimensions, which is the model, the dream, the individual, environment, theory, and practice. The same time today is 2 p.m. in Europe. Okay. Have a very good day. Have very good afternoon. See you. Welcome tomorrow, 9 o'clock, 9 da manhã no Brasil e Sul-América. Eu e John. Beijo.
Ahora sí. Buenas votaciones.
Gracias. Obrigada, Ayrton, pelo suporte com a língua.
Gracias. Gracias a todos.
Obrigada, bom te ver. Tchau.
Adiós.
Obrigada,
Chao, chao.
Rafa. Tchau.